are you? Mark, just in relation to coming up against Blackburn, I suppose fond memories of Blackburn for your time there in Edewood Park from 2004-2008. Is there any sentiment left in football, or are you looking forward to taking on Blackburn Rovers, one of your first clubs after the Wales job?
Well, we're looking forward to it. It's an opportunity, obviously, to progress in the competition. Next round, all the clubs are involved, so you hope that you get one of the big boys in the next round if we can progress. So that's a challenge for us. But I've got fond memories of my time at Blackburn. Really enjoyed it. A couple of years as a player and 4 years as a manager. So had good times there and really enjoyed it. A lot of good people that I met, both as a manager and as a player. I've got fond memories of. So it'd be nice to go up against them. Not too many from my time are still there, but there's still a few. But still want to obviously do well for Bradford to make sure we progress if we can.
Yeah, and I suppose, Mark, this second round, obviously you've beaten Championship opposition in the first round, beat Hull City 2-1, Andy Cooks with the 2 goals, and obviously Hull that night put out a formidable looking team there as well, so, and obviously Hull riding high in the Championship as well, so that must give you confidence given the start Hull City have had to the Championship season as well, going in facing Blackburn Rovers, who despite have had a good start there of late, despite the 2 recent 3-0 losses.
Yeah, it's a similar challenge to us. Hull, as you said, started the season really well, looked really strong, and we did really well against them. So we showed them the respect that we needed to. But whenever we had the opportunity to break strongly and create good opportunities for ourselves, that's what we did. So hopefully we'll be able to do the same against Blackburn. Once again, another team that started strongly. Had a couple of stumbles of late, but we'll see what team they actually pick. I'm not too sure which way they'll go. I'm imagining and I'm thinking that maybe they'll probably go the same way as they did in the last round against other League 2 opposition. Played hard, Liverpool, did very well, scored lots of goals. So maybe they'll stick with the same group of players against us. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I suppose, Mark, in terms of Blackburn under John Dalton-Manson, and I suppose an awful lot of rumours going around about their star player Ben Burton Diaz. Obviously you've managed in the Premier League and you've dealt with high notable players in your time, and when there's always speculation about your sort of main player, where they're going or leaving, it can probably cause a bit of disruption, I suppose. And is that something you're probably looking to capitalise, maybe that a bit uncertainty about one or two of Blackburn's key players before the deadline ends, that you can maybe jump on that?
Well, you look at anything that can give you an advantage, but invariably good players have good standards and good behaviours for the most part. So if they're involved, you expect them to be professional and get the job done for their club, given notwithstanding their own circumstances. So I don't think it plays too much of a part. I think it's about making sure that we I'll go up against the team that we face and we give a good account of ourselves.
Yeah, and I suppose, Mark, what in terms of finances, we know what the League Cup, getting to the further rounds, maybe getting to the last 16 quarter final, what it means for the club in terms of the coppers in the revenue. But in terms of yourself, in terms of giving that confidence to sort of push up on the sort of table, what does the League Cup mean to lower league sides like Bradford, who would have a pedigree in the past? Do you sort of treat it differently coming into this job than what you would have treated it if you were a team, say, maybe in the lower leagues of the Premier League, or maybe fighting as a Championship contender?
Possibly the ability to maybe change your thinking in terms of personnel is a little bit different, but for the most part, whenever I was involved in competitions, even as a Premier League manager, I wanted to progress in them. I didn't see the point of foregoing the opportunity to win a trophy or get into the deeper rounds. I always went reasonably strong right from the off, so that's not going to change tomorrow night. We can freshen it up, but for the most part we'll be trying to win the game.
Yeah, I suppose 5 games into the season, Mark, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Are you happy in terms of where you're at the moment, in terms of depth, in terms of your squad? Are you going to be active now in the next 2 weeks or so, or is it a case that players will have to leave before players come into the club, or do you feel that you're in a position to strengthen?
We'll have a look if there's anything we think is attractive and makes sense to us, both in football terms and financially. We'll look at it, I'm sure, but we've done a lot of our business early and we're comfortable with that. I'm pleased that we've done that. And we'll wait and see. I think it's, 10 days away from the end of the window. I think a lot of clubs will be happy once it shuts. Then you know what you've got to work with and the group that you're going to be with until obviously the new year. So that can settle people down, can settle players down as well.
And finally, for me, Mark, in terms of the challenge in Bradford City, obviously when you signed up to it, there was an awful lot of talk and probably surprise in terms of maybe coming down to that level, so used to managing in the Premier League or at the top level at the Championship as well. How are you finding it? Are you enjoying it as sort of such? Do you still see it as very much as football, or do you feel it as an exciting sort of intriguing challenge that you're probably dealing with a different sort of atmosphere or playing sort of level as sort of such, going to maybe infrastructure and grounds that probably don't cater for 35,000-40,000, maybe some places like Macclesfield or places like Grimsby and sort of places like that? Are you enjoying that sort of challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't have come here if I didn't think it wasn't going to be a challenge, and there is expectation even at League 2 level, and the expectation surrounding ourselves as a club is higher than most because of the amount of crowds that we have and the platform that's here for people. So there is expectation, but I've always worked with that and enjoyed that part of it. It doesn't matter what grounds you play at. The grounds are similar in terms of dimensions, the pitch itself, so we still playing on the same, for the most part, same dimensions. The infrastructure around it might be slightly different, but it's nothing I haven't experienced before as a younger player coming through the ranks. Played at all these grounds before, probably at a lower level, youth team level, but I've been exposed to it anyway, so it's nothing new to me. So it's been really enjoyable up to this point. We just want to make sure that we have a really strong season this year.
Mark, thanks for your time and best of luck in the second round of the League Cup against Blackburn Rovers.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Thanks.